You gotta get into the groove.
Hey everybody, welcome again for another Groove Asia live session. I'm Peter Moinaroa and I'm coming at you from New Zealand. And I just want to actually say hello to a few people in the chat there. We have Dr. Lisa. Thanks for being here, Dr. Lisa. I know that you apparently are expecting a tornado coming your way, so you're on alert at the moment. So stay safe and hopefully it misses you guys. And we also have Tyra. Thanks again, Tyra, for being in the chat there and supporting my lives. And we have Michelle all the way from Australia. How are you? Good to see you, Michelle. It's been a while since we've caught up, and hopefully all is well in Australia for you and Kevin. And we've got Nancy, and she is coming in from Canada. I know this because she's told me before. So welcome, Nancy. And Dr. Lisa is saying that she's coming in from Baltimore, Maryland, as always. Okay, so thanks very much, guys, for being here and supporting these lives. So this is generally about the GrooveKart or the e-commerce in general, and some of the things that you can do with the platform when it comes to GrooveKart, but not just with GrooveKart, how you can actually start promoting your products on other platforms such as Etsy or Redbubble or TeePublic, as Dr. Lisa has experienced, and she's actually had some real good success as of late, and she's getting a lot of endorsements online too as well. And in fact, I've actually bought a couple of her products myself off her site. So, and I'll get her to just share it. Probably, I don't know if you can do it in the chat. Maybe it will. Probably won't go to YouTube, and I'm not even sure about Facebook these days if you can actually put a link in there. But I might actually just put it up there on the screen a little bit later, and where you can see her stuff. Actually, I might even just find her website, and I can show everybody from there. All right, so what else is people saying there? Great to see you, Michelle. Yes, it is good to see you, Michelle. All right, so let's get started. So this is all about the, I guess, just building out a homepage, one that's going to look great and it's going to look good. It's kind of like your store window, if you like. So when people actually look into they don't actually come into your store straight away unless they know your store. But let's just say someone's walking past your brick and mortar store and they see what they like in the window, in the front store window, and then they decide to go in. It's kind of the same for website. I guess the home page or your front page, the better that it looks, the more interesting it looks, the more people will browse around on your site. And so the more that people browse around your site is a good thing because it lowers your bounce rate. And what I mean by that, your bounce rate can actually have an effect on your store, okay, in terms of Google rankings. So when people come to your store or your website, let's just say your website in general, it can be an e-commerce site or it could be a website. They come to your website, and if your website is, lacking luster, if you like, and it's not properly optimized or responsive, then you're going to get people that will just leave immediately and they'll go on to the next search. So that's kind of what the bounce rate is the longer they stay on your site, the better. Even if they don't buy anything, but they're just browsing, the longer that they do that, the better. But if your bounce rate is people are basically spending maybe 1 or 2 seconds on your website and just decide, hey, I don't really like this site, I'm going to go to the next one. And that's kind of like your bounce rate. So the lower you can keep that, the better you can have the bounce rate, the better in terms of people, leaving your website. as soon as they get there. Tyra is saying, thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience. It's appreciated very much. You're welcome, Tyra. Nancy's saying, hello, everyone. Awesome. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. And we're on my dashboard, my GrooveKart gallery. I've got a few stores there, as you can see. I'm going to pick on one of them today, and this is going to be this one here, Pilates Fusion. Okay, so we're just going to go into the admin. Now, if you're working on your home page, you need to go into the builder section of your GrooveKart dashboard here in the admin area. So the builder, you will find it the third one up in terms of from this icon up, the third one up, and just click on that. Well, I don't actually think I've done anything on this one here. I'm not too sure. No, I haven't. Okay. I have actually got an image there. Okay, so what I'm going to suggest to you, I'm going to give you a few tips. I'm going to get rid of that image, by the way, because what we want to do is we want to put a different image in there. And so I'm just going to explain the reasons behind the type of image that you need to put on your screen when you're actually, I guess, creating your e-commerce store. And one of them is that where the images lead you from one thing to another. Now, I'll explain this a little bit better. If you can see here, these two women here are doing, something like Pilates or yoga, but they're looking upwards. So their eyes are looking up rather than downwards, is probably what I'm trying to say. So when their eye level is looking downwards, it's kind of suggestive. It's kind of a what do you call it? Subliminal, if you like. When their eye level is pointing downwards, it's leading you down towards the next part of your website. So what it's doing is that it's starting from the top and looking down. Oh, yes, by the way, just put in hashtag live if you're watching this live. I just saw Tyra put hashtag live. And if you're watching this replay, just put a hashtag replay. So if the eye level is pointing downwards, could be on an angle, looking downwards or anything like that, that will actually immediately, cause the user, if you like, or the person that's looking through your website to actually look down to what's next on below that. So it's kind of like, just trying to guide the person's experience through the website. You don't want them really staring at you. You don't want their eyes sort of staring at you because you're kind of having like a staring competition. What you want to do is you want to try and get the user to actually start making their way down the website so that we can come to the different things like the categories and things like that. All right, so we're going to change that image up. I hope everybody, that's deep, Dr. Lisa. Yeah, that is deep, yes. But it kind of is psychological. When people buy, they buy on emotions, right? They actually don't buy really because, I guess, because they really need it or anything like that. I mean, some people do. But the thing is when you're online and you're looking through things and that, really it's something that it's about sort of pushing those emotional buttons when you're actually trying to get someone to buy something. You really want to get them invested into the feeling of actually having some sort of connection with your website, if you like, and the product that you're promoting. Because a lot of people buy things, but they don't actually need them. They just want them. It could be, a really cool looking shirt. Probably don't need a shirt. Probably got tons of shirts like me. I've got tons of shirts in my wardrobe. Do I need one more? Not necessarily, but if I like the look of the shirt, like I did with Dr. Lisa's, then I'll go and buy it. And so, it's kind of an emotional thing. You're kind of causing that connection with the potential buyer, if you like. So the whole experience for the website is to actually provide some sort of guidance, some sort of emotional connection with the person that's actually viewing your website. So what we want to do is we want to draw the attention down further down the website, because that's where you're going to have all your different products. All right. So you start up the top. It's kind of like a doorway into the store. You see what you like. There's the door. Let's go through it and let's go and have a look more behind. Have a look, what's in the store and what else they've got. So that's what we're trying to do here. So we're going to change that image, and I'm going to sort of go through that with you very shortly. I just want to go through this as well. So categories, definitely have the categories. In a way, categories are actually a good thing in terms of like hiding, not so much hiding your product, but actually getting people to actually look through your website a bit more. Okay, so in order for them to actually have a look for the products that they're after, they've got to go through a category. Although you can actually have them here as well. I mean, you can have your products here as well, but you want to sort of give more. That leaves a lot more for the curiosity. So if they're curious, they want to sort of have a look a bit more further into your website. So they'll go into the categories. You can have bestsellers there and new items. That's not a problem. What I would say is that when you're actually doing like the pricing, the colors of the pricing, especially if it's a high price, like this Pilates or yoga can be quite a high ticket price, a high ticket type sort of a product, especially when you're talking about reformer machines and all that sort of thing, can actually go into the hundreds, if not the thousands, all those sorts of things. So, it's important about how you highlight or how you color these prices. You don't want them to stand out like really, really bold, as if to say, "Hey, look at me. This is this is the price." What you want to do is you want to kind of minimize the how would I say, the amount of money that it's going to cost, because you don't want it to, you don't want to sort of stick a big black bold on it, color, and then say, and trying to be suggestive about that this is a great price, because it may be too high for some people to buy. But if you kind of like lessen the impact of it, it may help with people sort of having been a bit more invested in maybe looking into it a little bit more further, and at the end they will have a decision to come to whether they actually pay that sort of money or whether they don't pay that sort of money. But in any case, you want to try and minimize anything that's going to probably sort of like deter them away from your website, especially if it's a high ticket priced product website. You want to try and minimize all those sorts of things, but we'll get into that a little bit more as we go through this. So yes, eyes point to the cat. Yeah. So what we want to try and do is we want to try and sort of make it an experience, a journey, but we also want to keep them on our website as long as possible so they can go through some of the stuff. So it is actually really important what your homepage looks like. All right, it's really important. If you noticed in one of my sites here, I kind of done that with this one here. Hang on, let's just go to this one here, I think. Maybe that one. No, not that one. This one. So I've kind of done that, although there's nobody in this picture, okay, looking downwards. But what I've tried to do is I haven't put any prices on here, okay, because I don't want to sort of scare people off. I just want them to go through it. I want them to actually get invested in maybe looking more into this product and wanting to know more. So, I've actually used a lot of images to actually create this. You'll find that, like electric bikes kind of sell themselves in the end, especially if you've got the money. They kind of sell themselves in the end, but it just it comes down to what people would like the most, what kind of bike. there's so many different ones out there. I've actually narrowed it down just to one bike. And I've chose this bike here because it's got a little bit of nostalgia to it. The pan seats is kind of nostalgic. The early 1900s, like the Indian bikes and all that, they used to have pan seats and pan brown leather seats as well. So it kind of gives that kind of feel as well. So there's a little bit of nostalgia there, but also sort of a modern feel to it as well. And if you have a look at the headlights, they're round headlights. They're not like kind of like a square headlight or anything like that. But they're round here. So there's some nostalgic aspects to this bike. I really like it. The fat tires, all that sort of stuff. So, but images are very important, okay? And very high res images, not like blurry images, because they can put people off. And as you can see, like they can click for more info to go to that actual product, if you like. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get people to actually look into it more. And then I've got a video here that actually shows the bike in action and all that sort of thing and how powerful it is. Just a few more information. I've got another close-up images of the headlights here, the pan seat, the tail light, and then some more images here, because people love images. They just love seeing more detail, especially when it actually outlays some of the specifications of the bike. And if you understand anything about mountain bikes, then this sort of information would be useful for you. So there's a lot of them, because we're talking about a high ticket product here. We're not talking about just a $50 or even a $100 item here. We're talking about a high ticket item that we want to really provide people with lots of information, things that they can actually really sort of go, well, you know what, I kind of like this bike. Because it is a big decision. They won't probably make that decision to buy it straight away, but if they keep coming back to it, they're actually really sort of tethering on the edge of actually buying. So, and that's what you want. Okay, so, and this is actually here, this dimension reference. This actually, the specifications here, it sort of suggests that a 6.8 foot, or 6.8 foot male, that high. And this is what the bike looks like in relation to that. So this bike is not a small bike by any means. And this is a 5'2" woman here. So this is actually just not a toy. Like, it's not like it'll look small underneath a guy this tall. It looks like this bike would be made for him. So that's kind of useful information, because people can't get an idea without the bike physically with them as to how big it would be. And then we've got a few images here with other males on it, and it kind of gives them an idea, what it looks like with somebody riding it. So as you can see, lots of different information. There's only 3 colors, and it comes with either 1 battery or 2 batteries. But if they've got, but the price is different for either or. So that kind of gives you an idea how you can actually create a really sort of effective front page, in a sense. Just a quick look into it. I've made, because it's a high product, I haven't cluttered up the whole screen with lots of different accessories and all that. What I've done is I've actually tried to add some curiosity to this whole look and feel of the bike. All right, let's get back to the this one here. Okay, so looking for images. Now, there's a couple of places you can look for images. Obviously, in the free sites like Pixabay. Let's give that a go. Let's see if we can find any images there. So this is a free site. Free images. Most of the images are free. I think they do actually have a paid option as well, but I don't pay for this one. So I'm just going to put Pilates in there and see what comes up. All right, so we've got all these images. We've got this woman looking to her left. We've got these, well, this woman here looking straight at us. We don't want that one. Same with this one here, looking straight at us. Straight at us. These guys are looking upwards. Now, here's one here. These guys are actually looking downwards. So that would be one that we want to probably actually save. Okay, I'm just going to put a like on that. Okay, it's asking me to join. I'm just going to join with this. All right, so I'm going to save that one. I'm going to like that one. I suggest if you see anything you like, this one here, although she's looking downwards, we're not seeing her face because she's got her back to us. So we don't really want that one. All right. Now with Pixabay, it's important to know that you don't always get a lot of options. Okay, this one here, in a way, you could actually say she's looking downwards. Her headline is kind of facing towards the downward direction. So, you know, that may be one you may want to consider as well. However, the actual, you know, the sort of the, what do you call it, the layout of the photo, or it's actually more of a portrait rather than a landscape type photo. So we do want portraits, portrait type photos. This one's a great one here. Now this is good because this has actually also got a male in there, because we want to try and make it so that the site is not just, you know, woman dominated site. Like, it's not just for women, it's for males as well. So we want to make sure we give that impression. This is great, but it's not quite a wider landscape. It's kind of a, you know, more of a shorter landscape, but we'll just save that one for now. And all right, so I've gone to the next page. There might be others you can save just for, like, say, for instance, for different things on your website, but not for your main hero image. We want something that's looking downwards. Okay, so we might actually help if we see if we can use the filter on this, if it's got one. Orientation, that's what I meant to say, orientation. Horizontal is what we're after. Again, here we've got some downward ones. So I kind of like this one here. So I'm just saving these images just in case I'm going to need them. All right, so I've noticed there's not as many options as what I would get in, say, for instance, if I go to deposit photos, I've got a few more options in there, and I've actually looked through this earlier, and I'll just show you some of the favorite ones that I chose. Okay, so there's one there that's kind of got, although she's looking at a laptop, her eye line is actually on an angle, looking downwards towards this way. We've got another one here looking downwards, another one there looking downwards. These guys are looking kind of on an angle downwards. So that's kind of what we're after. You know, we're after something like that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, I'm going to probably use this one here. However, there's another option too as well, which I will actually show you. And I'm going to bring that up. Let me bring that up. Okay, I'm going to stop share. Is there any questions or anything that you guys want to ask? Just put it into the chat. I know we're getting into a little different aspect of building out a front page, but it's really important that you grab the attention of the viewer straight away when they come into your website. So that's kind of why I'm going through this. I'm just going to share another screen. All right, so Canva is another place you can actually get some of these images, and if you're on the paid version, then you'll get some great images. I'm just going to go into here. I'm going to create I'm going to just create custom size here. I'm going to go 1920. All right, let's go 900. All right, so I'm going to just go onto photos on the left-hand side. And as you can see, I've actually been looking around in here as well. I'm just going to put in Pilates. You can put in yoga or Pilates. It's completely up to you. Oh, hang on. I'm probably not sharing my screen. Here we go. There you go, guys. Sorry about that. Just as well I remembered. I keep doing that all the time. I don't know why. But I'm just in Canva here, and I'm having a look through some of these yoga or Pilates photos. And there are a few here that are sort of like, if I drag and drop this one here, you've got ones looking here, but we're not actually seeing, they're not kind of like facing front on, right? So that's one that we probably don't want. So I'm going to get rid of that, but the direction of the eyes is pretty good. What about this one here? Okay, so this is not too bad, but you've got this woman here. Although her face is kind of facing towards the right, her eye line is facing downwards, right? Is facing downwards. Typically, I'd kind of like that the other way around, because most people sort of like view things when they're reading things, they read from the left to the right, right? So that's kind of where I want her looking. And although she's not doing that in this photo, I can still flip it around and have her looking the other way. So I'm just going to flip it horizontally. Okay. And then now she's looking in the direction that I want her to look, and she's slightly looking downwards, which will then start drawing my eye down towards what's below her. Okay. And so that's a good photo. I did want to get something that actually had like a reformer on it and things like that. So if I get rid of this one here, drag and drop that one. Okay. So here you have the instructor is looking downwards, which is what we want. Although these two are looking upwards, this woman here, who is kind of like the main subject in the whole image, is looking downwards. And that's perfect for what I'm after. And it's on a reformer as well. Okay. So, that's definitely something I'm after. Here's another one with a reformer. I kind of like this one as opposed to this one here. I'm just going to drag and drop in. That one there's just looking directly down her eye, and although she's looking downwards, we've really only got a side image of her. I'd much prefer her sort of like on an angle towards us, and because it's connecting with us, and then she's also looking down how this one is looking here. All right. Anything else? Same with this one here. Okay. So we can see her face, but she's looking down this way. So, which is really cool. Although the other two are lying down and looking up, she's probably the one that we're focusing on the most. That's the one that we're focused. We're not really focusing on him or her, but we are looking at her in particular, because she seems to be the main subject in the image. So she's looking down. So either that one there or the one that I had before are pretty good. So without going in any further, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose one of these. And I like this one here because it's actually got the reformer in the actual image. I don't know if the other one did. Can't remember now. Let's just go backwards. Oh yeah, they had the reform here. That one's pretty good to itself as well. But I kind of like this one here, because we can see more of her face. There was another one. What was that other one? Backwards. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're just doing yoga. So I want the one with the reformer in it. And That's pretty good. That one's pretty good. And so is this one. But I kind of like this one here because it's looking towards the left of my screen and pointing downwards to eye lines that we can see, the front part of her with the front part of her face. So for me, this is really ideal. And she's looking down. That's going to draw my attention down to what's below. And then I will see like the categories. So I'm going to use this one here. I'm just going to, I don't know if that's actually in my deposit photos, but I'm going to get it from here anyway. I'm just going to download it. We may just go slightly bigger. Download. And I'm going to put that into one of my folders. And then I'm going to swap screens over. Sharing is caring. Yes, it is, Dr. Lisa. All right, so I think that's all downloaded. I think. Where's that gone to? I don't even know where that's gone to. Oh no, it failed. There's only one image or graphic on your design. Okay. Am I actually in my, not too sure what that means. Only one graphic image in my design. Let me just try it again. The download failed the last time, I'm not too sure why. And it's failed again. There is only one image on or graphic on your design. Premium images can't be exported on their own. Add more elements and then try again. Okay. I'm not on a paid version, I know that much. Let me just double check. Make sure that I'm actually in my account. Home. Yep, that is my account. I should have been able to download that. For some reason I can't. It says I can only do it. I've got to do it with another one. It doesn't make sense. Let's just try that one more time, and I don't think it's going to work. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another image. Okay, you can just duplicate the page. I'm going to get rid of that. And the person looking down to roll her mat on the floor in front of hands, be just over the call to action. And the person looking down to roll her mat on the floor. Let me just check. Nancy, I'll just get back to here first. I want to get these photos again. Photos. So that one there. Let's have a look at all the recent ones that I had a look at. That one there, this one here. All right, so that one there, I need to actually probably just move that so that her head is not cut off. Oh, looks like her head's cut off now. Let's move that up a wee bit. All right. Okay, and if the person looking down to roll her mat on the floor in front of hands, be just over the call to action. All right, so if you're meaning, I think there was another one here, which was, if I have a look, photos and Pilates. I'm not sure if you're talking about this one here. Where is it? Are you talking about this one, or Am I sharing my screen? I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry, guys. Let's just stop this. Stop screen. Done it again. Share screen. I think it's this one here. Yep. So we're not talking about this one here, are we? If the person looking down, oh no, that was, I think it was this one coming up. No, I can't even find it. No, I couldn't find it. So on the floor in front of hands, be just over the call of action. Okay, yep. I guess if you're thinking about maybe the call to action being on the screen itself, like the text, if you like, that's what you mean. Yes, that could work. Definitely. Yep. That's where you can put your call to action on the left-hand side. It's always helpful if they are looking towards the left, because like I said, everybody reads from left to right. So when we're looking visually, when we're looking at something, we're kind of sort of scanning. We're not kind of going from the right to the left, and we're not kind of going straight on. We're kind of seeing what's going on this side, and that's why they put a lot of the text. If you have a look at some of the templates, they have the text on the left-hand side, and so yeah. Even when it's not just an image, there's some text as well as an image on the right hand side. You'll notice that the text is on the left hand side. They want people to pick that up on that first, to read that and then see the image. So going from left to right, and that's kind of like what we're trying to do here. We're trying to achieve, and the fact that they've obviously got their head pointing or their eye line pointing downwards means that it's kind of giving us hey, carry on down. There's more to come. Just keep looking, just keep moving down. Another subliminal message with the hands, maybe. Yes, so long as the eye line is kind of following that as well. So if the eye line is following the hands, then great. But if you're kind of like the person's looking straight at you and you've got your hands pointing downwards, you're kind of like having a staring competition with the person that's looking straight at you, and you want to try and avoid that. So you want to try and, if the hands are pointing sort of downwards and their eye line is pointing downwards, that their head doesn't actually have to look downwards, but their eye line needs to look downwards. Okay, so at the end of the day, that's what you're kind of after. And so long as that's happening, then that's great. So I'm going to just try and actually download these images. So I'm going to download this again because it sort of said that I couldn't download it on its own. So I'm going to download it together and see what happens. Oh, it worked. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, look here. God, I did it again. There you go. So I've chose these two images here. I've downloaded those because I couldn't actually download this one on its own. I had to download it with something else for some reason. And so I've just downloaded that at the moment. I'm going to swap screens again and present the other one. Okay, where are we? On there. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to here, actually the builder, and I'm going to upload that image that I downloaded. Let me just get there first, get the image. All right, so that image there, I am going to change. I'm going to go on the three dots here, delete this one here, and then upload an image. Okay. and I am uploading the image I just downloaded before. Cool. So now we have that in there. I think that actually looks much better. It's got the reformer in there, which is exactly what I'm after. You can put something here if you want to. I'm going to leave that here for now. I've got a kind of like a white overlay over it by the looks of it. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to take that overlay off a wee bit. You see how I've got to the image here, the background, that's the image. I've got it as cover, so it actually fills the whole cover, or the whole space, if you like, container. And just make sure too as well, it's at no repeat. Sometimes they just they default to repeat, so just make sure it's there. It's no repeat. Take that off. All right, now you see I've got a background overlay color here. That's great. I actually want to keep it that light color. Actually, let's just have a look at the blue. You know what? Like this color here, I've got this color here. I've got a bit of a theme going on with this color. I actually chose this color here a while ago because I felt it actually gave that feel that I was after in terms of like yoga or Pilates. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the color code for that because it didn't stay within my my settings. So I'm just going to click into here. I'm going to save because I just modified the picture, and I'm going to grab this color code. So I'm just going to click somewhere over the bar here so that it doesn't select anything. I'm going to go into these three dots, and there's the color, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm just going to grab this color code. Actually, I'm going to copy it, but I'm also going to press on this because that will actually put it into my color code when I go out of here. So I'm just going to do this. Okay. Oh, that went black. Let me just undo this. Why did they go black? Okay, let's go back here again. We'll just leave it like that, and I'm just going to copy this. I'm not going to do the tick. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to go out of this. I'm going to save. And I'm just going to go out of here. I'm going to go up to where it says top bar. There's a little arrow there. I'm going to click on that. If it doesn't work the first time, do it again. Now that I've got that color code, I'm going to actually use it for my font and my buttons, especially these fonts here. So I'm going to go here, three dots, and I'm going to click on the font color, and I'm going to paste the code into here, and then tick. All right. Now you can see that's actually, was it the font that I wanted to do? No, it wasn't the font I wanted to do. It was the overlay. Sorry guys, I got that one wrong. Let's just go to the image. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to the image. I wanted to go to the overlay here. And then that's where I wanted to put the color, not in the font. Yeah. All right, so it's a little bit too darkish for my liking, but let's just see if we can lessen that a wee bit. So I'm going to go down a bit. So it's just giving it a bit of a tinge, really, of that color, which is all I'm after. I'm not really after too much of I don't want that color to be too dominant, but I want that to tie in with my color up here. That's kind of what I'm after. So I want to try and keep the same sort of like theme going in terms of the colors. Now I could actually make this text white and it'll actually really stand out. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make this white. All right, and probably even that white as well. All right, so now that I've done that, you can see that color there. We've got a darker color there. Maybe if I was to maybe look at that button and go here, I want to go to the background of the button actually. There. Now, the color, just going to move this out of the way. See if we move this out of the way. No, I can't. All right, so we've got that color there. I'm just going to go to spectrum. And I think that's where the color is. Can't see it somehow, but I'm probably going to go more towards we'll go towards that color there. Just kind of like a charcoaly gray, dark gray charcoal color. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Unless we go to this color here, which looks pretty good. I'm going to try this one actually. I'm going to grab the code here, copy. I don't know if that was the same one, but anyway. I can't change it in there because this thing is in the way. Why is this in the way? Okay, I'm going to add some space here. If you've noticed, if you come across this and you're trying to change something like there, and as you can see, this photo is for some reason covering the rest of the box. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more space into this area here so I can actually see the box. So I'm going to go into here and then just add some space. It's kind of annoying. It's a little thing that, you know, they probably overlooked, but the devs have overlooked. But now, if I click on here, and I still can't see it because it's still covering it, so I'm going to do some more. This is kind of like a workaround. This is all this is. I'm just doing a workaround. I'm going to create more space there. Okay, now let's just try it. Yeah, and here. And as you can see, this is the part I was after because I can't actually type in there if I can't see it, or I can't paste in there. So I'm just going to paste in there. Click on the tick, and now that's turned to that color. I don't know if that was the original color or not, but hey, I'm going to reset this back to what it was before, the spacing. Looks like it was 148. Oh. Close enough. That'll do. Actually, I don't think it was that thing. It might have been more than that. Less than that, sorry. Let's just take that out of the picture. Yeah. All right, so now that we've done that, I feel we've got a really good picture there. I'm just going to say, we're just going to have a quick look. Let's go into here. Go to storefront. All right. I really don't. What's happened here? Oh, that's a pop-up. Okay. We've got a bit of a. It's sort of been cut off at the top of her head there. We don't really want that. We want to actually make it a bit more space in there. So what I'm going to do, go back into here again, and then we're going to create that space. So we're just going to click on that section and then go into here and create more space there, probably more at the top level rather than the bottom. Is that working? It's kind of like made it bigger rather than it's kind of made it bigger rather than add more space. I'm not too sure why. Interesting. All right, so let me just have a look at this because I don't know why it's made it bigger, but anyway. We're trying to create more space up the top end. This is annoying. This pop-up is actually annoying. Sometimes it actually pays not to have a pop-up, depending on what type of site you've got. In this case here, I wouldn't have a pop-up. All right. What we want to try and come across is that we're trying to actually do a more of a high ticket level type site rather than just a product site where you can buy like a $50 product or a $70 product or something like that. This is a high ticket site because I want to try and sell reformers. That's probably the whole idea behind it. And there will be other things like, you know, like yoga mats and all that, which I can actually create my own designs on the yoga mats and the in Printify or Printful, as well as the pants and tops and stuff like that. But the main thing around this will be the reformers, selling the reformers, because they're a lot more money, a lot more profit in there. So, but that there, I can't understand why we're not getting that gap there. So I'm just going to click on it one more time, and let's see what happens here. Okay, what I might do is I might just actually off-center this. So I'm going to off-center this graphic. I'm going to go down that way and see what happens. Can I? Okay, let's go contain. There we go. Let's try that. And go back here. Now, you see how it's actually got that green bar in there? That's because I moved the image down. Okay, so from the top, I moved it down. So what I really need to do here is I actually need to try and sort of get rid of that green bar. So I think that this gap here, we're going to close that gap up a wee bit. Okay. Probably just take it to, no, we don't want a 0. We just, because I'm getting those green bars on the side as well. There, around about there, a bit more. So if you can see here, the green bar's gone, but over here it hasn't. Now this can actually be quite annoying because of the fact that when you actually have a look at it, and if I save that now, it's going to show on your image. So if I go here or on your site, and there you go. So we really do need to do the cover aspect. Okay, let's just try this again. Go there. And then I'm just going to go auto and see what happens there. I don't think this is going to, I have a feeling it's going to cut more of her head off. It has. I don't really want that. So, and that was actually using the auto. I'm just going to use cover again. At least I'm getting part of her head anyway, well, most of her head rather than nothing at all. So let me just try that again and see what happens. All right, and that's because I closed that gap up. That's why. We just want to go back into here again. I'm going to go back to spacing. Let me just try this. I'm going to try both top and bottom, inside the line or the outside or the boundary of the image. So inside rather than the outside. And I'm just going to go. Let me just try 100. Maybe we'll try 150 and see how that comes out. I'm sure we'll get most of her face, and if we do, we're just going to leave it at that because I just need to carry on. All right, so we have got most of her face. This is really annoying, this pop-up. It'll actually annoy a lot of people, but if you're doing a site like this, just don't have a pop-up. So we're going to get rid of that pop-up. I think, yeah, we'll get rid of that pop-up. I'm losing some functionality here for some reason. What's happening? Let me just refresh that. Okay, that's cool. Now I've got that. Okay, so pop-ups here. It's got deal. I'm just going to get rid of this. Delete pop-up. All right. It's very annoying. Okay, so let's move on because here is the categories, and what we want to try and do is we want to make sure that those categories, just categories, and they're not like products. So when they come down, when they make their way down the page and then they just see the categories, so that you could have like reformers, because there's different reformers. You could have like custom apparel wear. Then you could have like accessories, and then you could have what else you could have here? you know, I mean, you could think of something else, but you could have another category here, or you could just have 3 categories and have them have 3 columns rather than 2, or have 4 categories like it's got here. That's what we're really after. Now, if you notice with the white background, people might think it's a bit boring, but there is a bit of a break up here where we've actually, you know, you've got this color here. So mind you, this whole thing here is an image. So you can actually probably do something similar if you wanted to in Canva, but that's a whole image. So that hasn't got containers or anything. That's actually set behind in the background. So, but you know, like at the end of the day, I would use something like that, and I would recreate it in Canva with different images, like for yoga and stuff like that, because I think that actually looks really good. I think the reason why I've actually chose this layout, this is the template, by the way. The reason why I've chosen this layout is because of one, there's kind of like you know, it's ideal for the type of niche that I'm wanting to try and promote here with the Pilates. I love the layout. I love the simplicity. It's, you know, it's very sort of modern. I can recreate that in Canva, most definitely. That wouldn't be hard to do. And so, you know, I mean, you've got lots of different elements in Canva that you can actually recreate this, and I'll show you those in a minute. It doesn't actually have to be exactly the same, by the way, but you can do something similar. This here, so this here is, I think this is more of an image, by the way. Yeah, it is an image. So you could do the same here if you wanted to, right? Or you could turn this into kind of like a carousel. And what I mean by that, you can just sort of drag and drop an element, if you like, or add an element. So we're going to add an element, or you could do exactly what they've done here and just have all different images, which I'll probably do. I'll do that instead. So I'm going to add an element. I'm going to go down to, we're going to make it 6 columns, drag and drop. Okay, so I've got 6 columns here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to add images in those columns. We go to elements, and you're going to have to do this one by one, by the way. There's no quick way of doing it. We could have done a carousel, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to do images. And where are we? Images, there. And then again, we'll do it again. There. Things are playing up in here. Don't know why. Okay, so I'm just going to save that and just refresh. Now, if you're getting these little glitches, by the way, just save your work and then refresh. It's probably a good thing to do. All right, so Tyler says, thank you, Peter, for sharing all these wonderful shortcuts. It's okay. They're just workarounds. It's really just, you know, after you've been doing it for a while on GrooveKart, you kind of learn there's different things that you can work around in. You know, if you notice that wasn't working for me when I was trying to get another image, so I saved it and then I refreshed it and I should be able to see it now. So it's kind of, it's a little bit, little things like that happen that most people don't really know, and they're wondering what's going on, you know. So when in doubt, just save your work and then just refresh your page. Okay, so there's all those images there. I can actually just get different images of, like, you know, in terms of like what I've got here. I can just get a whole bunch of favorites, ones that I like. Eyes don't have to be looking down, by the way. That you could have just normal images, whatever you like. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to go Pilates, and then you could just have different images, because the main thing is that we have the hero image that is the eyeliners looking downwards. All right, that's what we're after. So we could choose any of these images here. We could get 6 of them that we like, and then we can just put them into these images here by just simply clicking on the image container, going into settings, all right, and then uploading an image. And I actually don't have one. I haven't downloaded any ones for that at the stage, but you get the picture, right? That's what you can do here. I think still keep that type of thing like this down the bottom here. Get rid of this one. Obviously, you don't really need that one, but definitely have the same sort of format that they've got down here, down the bottom, if you're going to do something like this. The subscribe now, yes, probably a good idea to have, but you know what? I would actually take it out for now until you start getting some traction on your website, or until you launch it, and then add it back in again, because you really want to get some traction and get people coming to your website, and then having that subscribe now would be more beneficial then. And like I said, just recreate this image. If you go into Canva and actually recreate that image. Yeah. Now, what I was saying about here, these prices and all that. Now, you can't change. Let me just have a look here. Those are just products, add to cart settings. Okay, so for here, if I go click there, we've got the add to cart settings, show button. Background color, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm just thinking, if I did this, wonder what changes. Okay, so that just changes the font on the, that just changes the font on the button. That's all it does. All right, I'm going to go to here. I'm going to go to pages. I'm going to go to category page, save. If you've made any changes on your page that we were just working on, make sure you save them before you go into like category page or product page or things like that. You want to make sure that. Okay, so this one here, that's not the one we're after. Pages. All right. Okay, so primarily what I was wanting to try and do is I wanted to try and change, I guess, the colors. Let me just go back here again. So, we're not even moving again. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I didn't really. Let me just have a quick look, see what that looks like. We haven't got any products there, by the way, so it's probably not going to show. Yeah, it's not showing, but we haven't got any products there. But what I'm trying to avoid is that I'm trying to avoid maybe just the pricing side of it, and make the color a little bit more faded rather than a little than bold. And we'll probably take out the add to cart on this one, on this particular thing. So I will take that off. I would not show the button. All right, I'll just leave it like that, because that's kind of like sort of like pay by now. And this is not a site where actually people are just going to spend $1,000 or $2,000 just because you say buy now. You know, we want to be a little bit more subtle about it. So we just kind of want to introduce them to the page really, and maybe think about my primary focus is actually trying to sell the reformer, and that's why I've got it in the image. All right, so because that obviously being a high ticket product, I could actually take these out completely and not show them. And, you know, in some sense, it may actually work better if I do, and just have the categories, and then I'll have reformers, I'll have custom apparel, I'll have accessories, and I'll have something else. And then when they go to those categories, then they'll start to see what things cost. All right. And that's what we could do there. So nevertheless, that's kind of where I'm coming from in terms of like your homepage or your. So really, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is we're trying to sort of make a really nice. I always say less is more. Make a nice, simple but a really effective homepage. So at the end of the day, it's not too busied up with a lot of stuff. You know, that's kind of like for things like you know, selling your general household products, or things like that, or even like even with print on demand. But when it comes to a high ticket stuff, you really want to simplify it, kind of like what I've done here. I've just made it nice and simple and appealing, and really just an introduction into the product. If I really wanted to, I could have just maybe just sell the reformer instead, and do something similar to this and make it more effective like that way. But what I want to try and do is I also want to add some of the other things that you can get when it comes to Pilates. I want to add those into it too. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking at here. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you just before I go is the notification bar. Now, if you are wanting to put like a scrolling text up the top of the up the top here, if you're wanting to put a scrolling text, that will require coding. All right, so and you can actually do that. Maybe probably what can I do here? Let me just see if I can drag and drop something here. I am going to add a block. Is that a block? No, not a block. Yeah, block container. Hang on. Let me just go back here. Elements here, column. Container is what I'm after. Let's try this. Let's try this. Can I put that anywhere? No. Oh, I can drop it here. Okay, so I've got code there. So this is actually an HTML code container. All right. Now, to get scrolling text, because GrooveKart does not have that in the system, all right, or in this platform, you'll have to add that in as a you'll have to manually add it in. So what you can do is you can go to anything like that says like HTML scrolling text, all right, and you can go on it. Whichever one, probably the first one you see, which is that one there. Okay, and so you can see here there is a code for scrolling text, and this is the example. All right, that's the example. So you can have like from right to left, left to right, things like this here. So let's just pick on this one here. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this text. Okay, I'm just going to copy this text, copy, and then I'm going to go back to my builder. And in here is where I'm going to put the code. So I'm going to go to settings, and then I'm just going to paste this code into there. All right, so that's the code. All right, and this, as you can see, the direction is, it's a scroll. This direction is from right and from left to right. Okay. And the direction that it's going is scrolling to the right. And here is the text in between there and here is the text. Now you change that out to whatever you want. And so I'm going to put in grab. So we have high quality reformers to suit your budget. I'm just putting that. Okay, I'm not sort of like I don't know if I'll stick with that or not, but I'm just putting that there. And as you can see, I've done it between the two marquee things here, there, and here. And so only what should actually show is the text. These are just actually instructions. Okay, so I'm just going to click on the tick there, click again just to make sure, and then all right, this here will not be displayed here. Okay, so now what we can do is save, and let's just actually have a look to see what it looks like. Okay, this will just give you some indication. I'm not sure what it would look like, but let's have a look. All right, so there's the scrolling text is coming from the left to the right. So you can have whatever, just scrolling across there, all different things. There are ways you can actually be able to click on the text and it'll take you to a page. But I kind of just like the simplicity of this, just something that's scrolling along, that informs people of different things. So you can use that if you like. It's as simple as I just said. Just go into a site, put it into your search, HTML, scrolling text code. This one will probably, you can actually change the colors and all that. There are different ones. Try looking down a bit further to see if you can find, different sites there. You can create these scrolling text, but it's all just code, and it's all done for you. Literally, all you got to do is just manually put in the text that you want. All right, and then you'll, and this is one of the pages. So they've got different ones here. You can go from right to left, left to right, scroll downwards like here. That one there's just scrolling downwards, upwards. That one's scrolling downwards. You could do that as well. You can adjust the speed to make it faster, whatever. You've got all this sort of stuff. So there's a whole range of things from here that you can actually use. And this will be ideal for when you're actually building out your site. Just add that little bit of something to it, right? So that's what I wanted to try and sort of achieve with today's session, was give you some ideas on how you can actually, really sort of make your homepage stand out a wee bit. Colors is very important. Fonts very important. Little things like this I wouldn't overdo, but little things like this can actually work really well. There was one more thing, Joy. I did actually have one more thing. And I'll probably will show you on Dr. Lisa's. Oh no, we can't do. Can we see it on your site, Dr. Lisa? Is yours? Oh no, I don't think your site's up and running just yet. So what we'll do, I'll show you on here, and I'm just going to add another container or image, if you like. So I'm just going to add that into where I'm going to add that. Now, I probably won't put it in here. I'm just going to show you as a demo, if you like. And I'm just going to add another image. Let's just go with this one here. All right. Now, you can see that is not covering, so we need to go into settings here. We need to go to advanced. Okay, so that should be on the background. Actually, let me just get rid of this image. I'm going to get rid of this image. It should be a container. Sorry about this, guys. Maybe just one column. I'm just going to go there. I just used one column. I'm going to go into the three dots. Okay, I'm going to upload image. There we go. Okay, all right. I've got the image in there. I need to add some spacing because I can't see the image much. All right, so there's the image. Now, what we're going to do on this, and we can actually probably put some color into that, background color. We're going to add same color that I used on this one here. So let me just go back into here, and I'm going to grab this, that color there. Normally when you do this, right, when you click on here, that color code, it'll actually add it, but it doesn't. So not sure why. It does it in GroovePages, but not on this by the looks. But anyway, I'm going to do this again there. I'm going to grab this color. And this will be the last bit, by the way, guys. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go down to here. I'm going to use the same color for this one. And there, background overlay. Paste. All right. And then there. All right, so now the trick here, the thing I wanted to show you here is the parallax. Okay, so that's the image. As you're scrolling down, the image kind of moves as well. So that's this one here. It says the parallax background. If we switch that on and we save, okay, when you go to the actual site itself, let's just go there, refresh. So as you can see, well, actually the image stays still, but the scroll, yeah. And that can be a really nice effect as well. So not too many of these little frilly bits in your website. You only just want to have a couple. You don't want to overdo it. But things like that can actually be really quite good. All right. All right. That's me, guys. I need to stop because I think there is something else going on at the moment. I should have actually remembered that, but there is an AI fundamentals on at the moment. If you want to shoot over there, better late than never. I will just actually go on to this here, which is the Groove resources. And today it's with Ching Yu, and it's the AI fundamentals. If you've done it already, great. I'm not too sure if this is actually a another part or is it the same one? But here we have it in today's slot, and this is at 2 o'clock my time, so it's 10 a.m. GMT +8, so it should be on now. Okay, there is the link. All right, shoot over there now if you want to shoot over there and join Ching Yu. But that's me, guys. Look, we did go over time. Sorry about that. But thank you for being here. Hopefully you saw something that you something different that you could try out. That's what it's all about. But just trying to make your homepage a little bit more effective when people come onto it, and doing some of the things that most people don't know to do, like the whole subliminal thing. It does really work. When you look at advertising on TV, it's the same sort of thing. That's why they have commercials, repetitive commercials, because it's subliminally, it's making you think you should buy that. And that's kind of like what we're trying to do here. We're just going to guide people down our website. So we're using subliminal messaging, if you like, to actually guide them throughout our website. Nancy says, and in removing products on the front page, they will choose the categories. It is better for SEO of human to links into the site. All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody. And thank you, Dr. Lisa, for your comments. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Michelle, for all being here. And we'll see you next week. Bye for now.